Hey guys, Mrs. Right here. We are moving on to a new topic in reading, and that is going to be identifying main idea and key details. This is something we are very familiar with, so hopefully everyone can think back to pre-quarantine times back in class, and hopefully that'll help you in today's reading assignment. So first, main idea is just the big idea of a text. It's what the text is mostly about, and some clues to help you find the main idea are right there in the story for you. So the first thing you want to pay attention to is the title. Typically, the title is going to kind of be your main idea for you. It's going to be what the whole text is about. So that's a really important clue to pay attention to. You want to try to identify any repeated words or ideas. So if I'm seeing the same thing being mentioned over and over again throughout the text, that's going to be a clue to me that, this is probably going to be the main idea or very close to it. The next thing you want to pay attention to are text features. So anytime you are reading, especially an informational text, which we're reading informational text for our shared reading this week, um, you are going to see different bold words. There's going to be captions with images. You will have informational text boxes that maybe give you additional information that go along with the topic. You have headings, subheadings. Any of those things are all really, really important for you to pay attention to help you figure out the main idea. And then the last thing you want to look for are the first and last sentence. So we call the first sentence the topic sentence for a reason. It's usually going to tell us the topic of that paragraph, which obviously is very important in finding the main idea. And then that last sentence or the concluding sentence is one that kind of wraps everything up and it reiterates what the topic sentence is all about. Okay. So with the main idea, so I can't just say, this is what it's all about. I have to have supporting details. And just like when we were talking about theme and looking for details to support theme, same thing with main idea. You want to find details or facts that give additional information that support your main idea or prove that the main idea you chose is correct. Think again about that tabletop. If I've got a table, my main idea is the top of the table and my supporting details are the legs. If I've got varying legs that some are short, some are long, some are made out of wood, some are made out of steel, my tabletop is probably going to be pretty wobbly, and that means my main idea isn't going to be very strong and secure. So you want to make sure that the legs of your table, the supporting details, match that main idea. So we are going to actually look at the story, the shared reading that you guys had for this week, the Great Energy Debate, and we're going to identify the main idea and key details there. So just to reiterate again, main idea is the most important idea or point that an author makes in a paragraph or section of text. So it's important to keep that in mind because sometimes they may be asking what's the main idea of the entire text. Sometimes it's just the main idea of this paragraph or this certain section. And those key details give important information to support the main idea. So a strategy that I really love to use, and I personally think it's a little bit easier to work backwards. I find key details first, and then I look at what all of those details have in common, and that'll help me decide what the main idea is. So that's what we're going to try today. So like I said before, it doesn't always have to be the entire text. We're just going to look at one little passage out of the Great Energy Debate. And as you see here, we have our graphic organizer. You guys are also going to be working with the graphic organizer today to help organize your thoughts and ideas. It'll look a little bit different than this one, but it's going to be laid out the same way. Here's the main idea, here are key details. So for now, we're not going to pay attention to this main idea piece. We're just going to focus on those three details. So I'm going to read this passage out loud. As I'm reading, I want you to just think to yourself, what do you hear over and over and over again, right? So we're looking for those repeated ideas or words, phrases, anything like that. We may be asked to debate the future of gasoline as an energy source. If so, I would say that gasoline is made from oil, a fossil fuel. According to geologists, fossil fuels formed over hundreds of millions of years from ancient plant and animal remains. But here's the problem. We use these fuels far faster than it takes them to form. Because fossil fuels are non-renewable resources, if we keep using them, eventually there will be none left. Plus, burning these fuels pollutes the air. So I'm going right back up to my topic sentence just to make sure that I have the right idea of what this is all about. And it says that we may be asked to debate the future of gasoline as an energy source. So to me, I'm hearing, okay, so I'm going to be hearing about our current energy source and gasoline, whether or not that's something we can use in the future, because debate means there's opposing sides. So some people think we should use it, some people think we shouldn't. And as I continued to read, I was given more information about that topic. So I'm going to give you a second to figure out what thing did you hear over and over again as I was reading. All right. If you said fossil fuels, ding, 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 we have a winner. You are correct. We heard fossil fuels multiple times. And so that tells me, okay, this is somehow going to be important to the main idea of this passage. And the first time, or the first important thing I hear about fossil fuels is that they're formed over hundreds of millions of years from ancient plant and animal remains. So immediately I'm hearing this takes forever to create. And that's my first detail. Notice I didn't write it word for word. I just paraphrased. Fossil fuels take hundreds of millions of years to form. That is something that none of us in our lifetime are going to be able to witness from beginning to end because nobody's living for hundreds of millions of years. The next thing I see is that here's the problem, and that's kind of a clue, like literally telling me, pay attention to this. We use fossil fuels far faster than it takes them to form, which we already stated in our last detail, is that they take hundreds of millions of years to form. But when we use them faster than it takes for them to form, we're going to run out eventually. And that's actually my next detail, right? They're non-renewable. Once I use it, it's gone. I don't have it anymore. Excuse me. So I look at these three details about my fossil fuels. I see that they take forever to make. I see that we are using them way faster than it takes them to form. And that once I use them, they're gone, right? And of course, you might find other details, like this would also have been a good detail that if we keep using them, eventually there will be none left, right? That's something that we can infer or guess, make an educated guess about just by looking at those three details that we have. And before I have you guys kind of try to take your own guess at what the main idea is, just pay attention to the fact that all three details talk about fossil fuels, but the important thing is that they give me a new perspective on fossil fuels. Each detail tells me something different. I'm not repeating myself and saying fossil fuels take hundreds of millions of years to form. Fossil fuels take a really long time to form. Fossil fuels form longer than the average person lives. Those are the three details that repeat themselves. I don't want to repeat myself. I want something different for each detail, but still aligned on the same topic, okay? So take a moment, look at those details, find someone next to you, talk it out with them, and ask yourself, what do these three details have in common? And what will that mean for my main idea? All right, if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. So after looking at these three details, so keep what you your main idea in your mind and see if it matches up. So I see that all the fossil fuels take a long time to make. We use them faster than they can be made, and we don't have them once we use them, they're gone. So that tells me that honestly, at some point, we're going to run out. And so my main idea is that fossil fuels will not last forever. Someday there will be none left, which there should be a debate about this because what does that mean for the future, right? That's the whole purpose of this passage, really, is we're looking at how to create energy and different energy sources. So work backwards, find those details first, then figure out what do these have in common to create my main idea. Today, you guys are going to use your selection reading. I'm going to show you really quickly what you guys are going to be doing. And you have two main ideas given to you already, okay? So like I said, the graphic organizer looks a little bit different, but it's the same concept, main idea, here are your details. So you're given two different main ideas on the same story, and I want you to find 3 details for each main idea that line up with that. So again, just like last week with theme, find someone, read your details to them and ask them, what do you think the main idea is based off of the details I gave you? If their response is way off, we got to go back and fix those details. But if they say something that's similar to the main idea that's listed here, then you're on the right track. So make sure that all 3 details are different, but that they align with that main idea. Have fun, reach out if you are struggling, and your teacher will help you. Bye, guys.